Right, well, it's always a pleasure to talk more Monkey Island, and especially with Dominic Armato, the voice of
Woo!
Guybrush Threepwood. He's back again.
I am.
Thank
It's
you
only been
so
a year.
much.
It's been almost
I
exactly a year to
know.
the
Well,
day.
I'm definitely going to be
My
talking
my
about
very
that.
close. 4 days off. I
I
know,
know.
right?
Very
How exciting is
exciting.
that?
But yeah, it's great to see you back again. Thanks for coming back just for a brief catch up.
Oh no, of course.
How have you been? How have things
Monkey Island
been?
always comes in twos. I'm good. I'm good. Just kind of chilling now, doing the family thing, kids
Yeah.
back in school, all those exciting non-video game related things. So,
Yes. Well, that is important. That is important.
oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I wish there were a little less driving involved, but that's okay. Put about
We'll get on
5
to.
hours a day in the car, no big deal.
Oh gosh. Okay. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
no, no,
Okay, that is a lot of driving.
it is a lot of driving. Yeah, yeah, no, it's suboptimal, but what are you gonna do?
Hey, what are you going to do? Move to London, public transport all the way, and that's all you.
Oh man, yeah, public transport in Phoenix, not so much.
Yeah,
Not
fair enough.
not so much a thing here.
But you've got
Yeah,
some
we have.
benefits as well. So I'll
There are upsides and downsides. Public transportation is definitely not one of them. So,
talking
what are
about.
you
I
gonna
mean,
do?
this is watch this for a segue. I want to talk a little bit about. Sea of Thieves. We're talking about public transport, boats, ships, Sea of Thieves. That was a terrible segue, wasn't it? It didn't
Okay, all
really
right.
work at
Okay.
all.
Yeah, I thought you were just gonna go right into a segue. Actually, the
Oh yes,
CEG.
let's.
Yeah. No, that
No,
would have made a whole lot more. Sorry.
it would have. It would have. I
Oh
mean,
my
I don't
God,
own a Segway,
this is
so
terrible. Public
uh,
transportation humor today, folks.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the Sea of Thieves trilogy because
Yes,
I don't think many people were expecting that this was actually going to happen. It was a rumor for a long
including me.
time. Well,
I,
it was a rumor for quite a long time that this was potentially a thing, but it suddenly just came out a little bit out of nowhere. I don't know. Am I wrong? Do you think?
oh no,
Were
no.
you
I mean,
expecting
I get
this?
the. No, I was not looped in. I mean, as I tell people, everyone is sort of under the impression that I'm always privy to all the mysterious goings on in the Monkey Island
Yes,
universe. And
true.
the truth
Yeah.
is that I'm usually one of the last people to know. Like
Okay.
everybody in production knows, and then me, and then you. That's usually the progression. So I usually find out slightly before you guys. But no, I think it was. I can't remember what it was exactly. They contacted me, but it was probably about I don't know 6 months or something after Return came out.
Okay.
So and then it was just kind of get right in the booth and go record some stuff, and then as is usually the case, by the time I get my grubby little paws on it, it's almost done,
Yeah.
and they're just looking to drop the voices in there, and and not have whoever they pulled out of some cubicle down at the end of the row to do the stand-in voiceover. Um, I have this deep-seated fear that one day the stand-in voiceover is going to be really, really good. And then I'd be like, I don't know if I can top that. But thankfully, this hasn't happened yet.
I'm going to say probably for Guybrush, I think you're pretty sorted.
I think I'm okay. I
Yeah,
think I'm
I would
okay.
say by now. I think you're all right.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. So you weren't expecting this at all. How did that?
No.
Because I've spoken to you obviously about the call. Well, when you met with Ron and he told you about Return to Monkey Island was happening. What was this like? Did you just get a call from the Sea of Thieves guys, or how did that work
Yeah,
out?
just an email out of the blue from from the voice people like, hey, we're doing Sea of Thieves. I mean, after lengthy protracted NDAs and such, because
Yes, of course.
yeah, exactly. Microsoft.
It's always the way.
Microsoft has Microsoft / Disney tends to be a little
Yeah.
they like to keep things under wraps. So once all that had been signed and done, like, okay, there's something we want to tell you about, but we need these NDAs and everything. So I was like, okay, well, I have a pretty good idea what this probably is.
Yeah,
But,
that's so
yeah,
funny.
no, and it just made sense. I mean, it totally, because I know it's something people have been clamoring for a very long time.
Yeah,
And
it's
I was
true.
not. Yeah, I was not. I personally was not a Sea of Thieves player. Not because I had any. Just I hadn't played it yet. It was
Yeah,
on the lengthy backlog that everybody has. That was on mine forever and a half. So no, but I knew that was something that everyone had really wanted for a long time. So it just made sense, to do a little cross pollination, little crossover event. And I think it's really cool. So no, I was very excited. I was very excited for no other reason than because all the Sea of Thieves fans who have always wanted some Monkey Island in there. It's like we got it.
Yeah.
So it was very cool.
What was it like? Did you have it in your mind that you were kind of playing Guybrush for a different audience potentially, not maybe an audience that were really familiar with Monkey Island. Obviously, a lot of people will be, but I guess when you're doing something like
Sure.
Return, you know, a lot of people, most people are going to have played Monkey Island before, but something like this, it might be people who have no
Yeah.
idea.
I think it's more on the writers than
Yeah.
it is on me. I mean, you know, that's something they have to be very conscious of. For me, it's, you know, I'm still gonna be Guybrush. That's not gonna
Yeah.
change. So I think that's more, I think it's more addressed in the script end of things as opposed to, I mean that's fun for me because, you know, certainly, you know, the thing that I always hope with anything like this is that, you know, some folks who have, you know, never played Monkey Island and are into Sea of Thieves are gonna, you know, like, oh, okay, then maybe go back and check
Yeah.
out some of the, you know, some of the old adventure games. You know, that's where my heart is. And that's the case too for you know, for the fellows over at Rare, because I mean, obviously, I don't know if there's any, if it's officially so, but certainly, Monkey Island was very much, one of their primary spiritual influences.
Yeah. Yeah. You
And
can
it's
see
not as
that,
though they
can't you?
don't know exactly, and it's not as though they don't know the games inside and out. So in some ways, um, they're kind of like I was, you know, 20, 25 years ago, where, you know, they're fans of the series and they're having their chance to work on it for the first
Yeah.
time.
Were they like
So,
that with you? Were they like, oh my gosh, it's Dominic Armato?
well, I think they were trying to play it cool, which is, it's so weird. It's so weird for me. I don't know. I still never feel like an insider on this thing. I still feel like a raging fanboy when it comes to Monkey Island. So yeah, you can always tell like they do become to be very professional and very British. And then they, you know, we do our whole session and that whole thing, and then, you know, towards the end of a session maybe they'd be like, you know, I just wanted to say I really
Ah.
liked your work in that piece. I was like, oh, thank you, I appreciate that. So no, it was a lot of fun.
Did you? Were there any points where you were like, I think Guybrush would probably say more this kind of thing? You know, you're a bit of you're a kind of Guybrush expert now. Were you there
Not,
at any
not
point?
so much. I mean, I think
Had they got it down? Do you
I mean,
think?
I think no, to their credit, I think they've really got it. I mean,
Yeah.
to their credit, I think to their credit, they really. I mean, I think it is a, I think it is a very tricky thing to move this from into a different genre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's a very tricky thing, and though I haven't played yet, I'm waiting. I want to wait for three to drop so I can play them
Right.
all
Yeah.
back
Okay.
to back, because
Which is.
I'm a binger. So plus I figured that way I would give myself a little extra time for as many details as possible to fall out of my head, so it can be as fresh of an experience for me as possible. Um, you know, I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they. I hear good things about how they've handled that transition.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously it's not an adventure game, but it sort of plays some of the elements I understand kind of play that way. And you know, like anything else, you know, they're good writers and they know and love the series, and I think that's kind of what it always comes down to, right?
Oh yeah, totally. And I think I've played the
So
first two, and you can see that love for the series in there. And it does, you know,
yeah,
it's a kind of it's a sort of first person adventure game style. It's very interesting. It's cool
yeah,
just to be able to go around Melee Island and see everything in a different perspective. So yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure you'll have fun
I,
doing.
I'm very much looking for it, especially because I have like this. I was telling somebody recently. I have this dream of there being a super interactive VR future
Ooh.
adventure monkey. Yeah, I know this is like this is it'll never happen because from
I
what I understand
don't
is
say
like this.
that. You don't know.
Who know? But you know what? When I say it'll never happen, that's when things actually do. So,
Yeah.
no, it would be
And then
I
everyone
feel
will
like
think you knew all along. They'll be like, he knew.
exactly.
He was hinting.
Oh, I'm more likely to develop it myself,
Ah.
which is not talking about my odds of actually
Yeah.
developing
Okay.
any
Okay.
video games. But no, I just think it would be I think, you know, playing through stuff like Half-Life Alyx, you know, the how tremendous some of those one-on-one scenes are with some of the characters
Yeah.
in that game, and I think that, you know, the moment I saw that, I mean, immediately the first thing I thought was like, holy crap, if we did like, you know, a Monkey Island game like this where you could just get up close and personal with these characters, and you had something that's really scripted and beautifully voice acted and all that kind of thing in a full, you know, interactive environment for puzzles. I mean, to me, that's like my imaginary future holy grail. So this feels like maybe a little, you know, little dipping toes in the water in that direction, you know,
I
someday.
mean, there's a
Dare
Sam
to
and
dream.
Max VR game, so why not? Why
Oh,
not Monkey
I did
Island?
actually know. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
not know that.
there is.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So we're just talking. The third episode is about to come out, and that is
It is.
Guybrush. He's surprise. He's returning to Monkey Island again.
What? I'm
Sorry if I've
shocked.
spoilt that for you,
Shocked.
Dominic. I don't know if
Not
you.
that shocked.
I just wondered if you kind of remember any fun bits from that, or whether it was kind of just fun to once again be, recording that script, going back to Monkey Island, or all of that once
Well,
more.
I do need to be a little careful
Okay.
about not revealing anything to tell you. But no, but I mean in general, I think I think part of what's going to be interesting, part of what's interesting is that, this is really the first time that there might have been an aside here and there before, but this I feel like is really the first time where there's a lot of very direct interaction with the player.
Right. Okay.
I mean, because
Yeah.
that's not something we've really done before. I mean,
Yeah.
Guybrush has certainly had over the years through the games. There've been like little moments, little asides, but they're subtle. I feel like there aren't a lot of places where it's more like he's talking to himself than he is directly
Yeah.
addressing somebody. And that's clearly not what in a game like this though, he's standing there right in front of you. He will be directly addressing you. So so it is interesting, it is interesting to think of it in that sense where for the first time in the booth as I'm reading, I'm thinking about, okay, I'm actually talking directly to the player now.
That's
You are right
true.
here in front
Yeah.
of me, and that's how I have to, I mean, it's doing the same thing with the player that you would ordinarily do with other characters,
Yeah.
because you're always in the booth working alone. So, so in the same way that I imagine I'm standing next to Elaine or LeChuck or whatever, got to do the same thing with the player character, so that it feels and sounds natural. So that certainly is a different spin. And also I just like hauling Murray around because that's always
Yeah.
that's right. The more there's some good Murray banter as I
Oh, there's
recall. So
such
I'm
great Murray banter.
especially I feel like especially in chapter 3. So
Oh,
I'm
great.
I'm
Okay, I'll
looking
look for.
forward
I
to it.
mean,
I think
everyone
so.
loves Murray.
If I
So
recall, I hope I remember correctly. Like I said, it's just as my goal was, the details have now fallen out of my head. So
all right. Well,
so
yeah, I'm looking forward
I'm
to
an
more Murray.
unreliable narrator right now. I know,
Okay,
but
we won't hold you to that if there's not like 50%
please
more
don't.
Murray or.
Yeah, with 50% more Murray.
Yeah. I mean, how did it feel then? Because you were obviously working with a separate team. Did it feel a bit weird that you weren't working with Ron and the guys, or I mean, like you said, you're just recording
No,
on your own.
no, and particularly because it was the same voice director.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
I'm
great.
working with
Okay.
Chris Brown. Yeah, I'm working with Chris Brown in both cases. And in both cases, just as a matter of nuts and bolts in the course of going through a session, 80 to 90% of my interaction is directly with her. The other
Right.
folks who are there will kind of jump in with a little something here and there if there's a question or, something that we need clarification on. But in general, it's working with her. So it's almost the same. It's just that, when someone pipes up, it's not someone with an American accent this time. So there's
Sure.
that. Which is really quite lovely actually. But we don't need to get into that. Anyway, yeah. So it's for my end, it was very, very, very similar. So I can't speak to others. Obviously,
No,
it could be
of
very
course.
different for other people. But for me, it's pretty. It was a pretty seamless transition. It's like just picking up and doing a little bit more.
That's good. I mean, obviously,
Same booth, same engineer, the whole deal.
yeah. Well, that's good then, because I wasn't
Yeah,
aware that you
totally.
still had that director, and obviously I can imagine
Yep.
that's very helpful.
Yep.
Obviously there was this sort of story about Ron saying he was consulted about it, but quite late in the day, and I don't know your thoughts on that, or it's kind of not really your.
No, it's not my. That's not my place to get into.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair enough. I
I
had
don't,
to
I don't, I
ask.
don't know. I don't know. No, I understand. I don't know the details. I don't want to speak for anybody.
Yeah,
And
no, I get
yeah,
that. I
that's
get
not.
that. But it's I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear you were kind of with a sort of similar team, so it kind of worked well in your favor in terms of recording
Yeah.
things. How long did it take recording everything? Did you do it all in a couple of sessions, or were you?
Oh yeah, this was pretty quick. I mean, it wasn't a huge script. I think we
Yeah.
did the whole thing in 3 sessions. I want to say maybe 2.
Okay.
It may have been it may have only been 2 even. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of lines, and
Yeah.
Guybrush goes pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So we blew right through it. Yeah.
Moving
Plus
on
the
to
video for the promotional video, that was the fun part for me. It's like I get to do a
was really
promotional
good
video.
fun.
I get to go on camera. I was like, wow, in the studio, and there's like a whole camera crew here and stuff.
Have you done that before, or is that kind of the first time you've done something like that?
A little bit, but it's been a really long time. Like when we did the special editions, they did just a quick little job in back over at LucasArts when I was in there recording for that. And I mean, and I used to do on camera when I was a kid, but it's been a long time. But it was just kind of funny, just the whole stuff, coming there. There's like a whole crew setting up. This is all just for me. This whole setup here in Phoenix, just to get me on camera. You do the interview, and of course, you'll end up being cut down to like maybe 15 seconds or something like that. It's how it goes.
Oh,
So,
well.
but no, I think it's very flattering. It's nice.
We've just heard that the Hollywood, the writer's strike in Hollywood is ending, and you've spoken about doing a lot
Yes.
of union work. So, what has that been like for you, being out of work? How's that affected you? And also, are you still on strike at the moment? The actor strike is still ongoing.
So, it has me personally. It hasn't affected me very much because I'm pretty much just doing Monkey Island right now, and that's about it.
Okay.
I would like to jump back in full time at some point. That hasn't happened yet. So honestly, if anything, it's bought me a little time to think about it some
Yeah.
more. Now I want to do things. But even so, if I had been actively working in video games, the contract that's under strike right now is the theatrical, which covers film, television, broadcast, that kind of thing. The interactive contract is a completely separate contract, which we
Okay.
also just authorized a strike for, and which I believe they're having. I think they're negotiating today, tomorrow, and the day after, the next 3 days. So there may be a parallel strike going on with the interactive contract pretty soon. So I can't say, but for me, I'm kind of sitting on the sidelines right now anyway. So
Sure.
it's easy for me to say, rah rah solidarity,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I would anyway. But it's particularly easy for me to be in support. So I am fortunate to be in a position where it doesn't have much of an effect on me at the moment, personally. Might have had a big effect on me if it had happened, say, 15, 20 years ago. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Is there anything else you're working on but besides Monkey Island? I know you kind of saying that was your main bread and butter. I was going to say, I know you cameoed in Lucy Dreaming
I did, yeah.
last year. They are doing a new game, Hair of the
I
Dog.
heard.
So, any cameos in it for you? Fingers crossed.
I don't believe I would be in a position to say
Okay.
if I were. So
Okay.
there's that. Also, they jumped through so many
I
freaking hoops
know. I
to get
know.
me signed up last time. I don't know that I can see them doing that again. Oh my
Bless
gosh.
them. Bless them.
Yeah, it was. Oh no, they're wonderful people, and it's so funny because I have always been, like I said, I've always been very. I made a commitment when I joined the union. I'm very much into. I honor my commitments,
Yeah.
and there will often be times where people who are doing little independent projects, and it's cool and all, and I have something I would love to. I said, but I gotta toe the line. I gotta,
Yeah.
if you get this under SAG-AFTRA jurisdiction, sure, I'll jump in. And I've been saying that for 25, 30 years. And then all of a sudden, like after they contacted me a few months later, it's like, okay, we got it. We're all set. It's like, really? It's a
Yeah.
SAG hit? It's like, okay. My wife was like, "So you're gonna do it now?" I'm like, "I told him I was gonna do it. I'm not gonna back
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
it. Not that I
Imagine
would
if
want,
you were like,
not that I would
nah.
want to anyway." Nah, sorry, you guys had to put weeks of work into this or months of work into this. No, I mean, I wanted to anyway. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
they're
Yeah.
wonderful people, and they're doing wonderful work. So that's not, I didn't
No,
I
I
didn't
know. I
need to be
know.
coerced. I didn't need to be coerced. Let's put it that way. But it was just sort of funny. It was funny to me that for the very first time someone came back and said, "Okay, we did it."
Yeah.
It's
You're
like,
like, oh.
wow. All right. Yeah, and anyone who jumps to those hoops, they deserve it. Heck, I will be there.
There you
So,
go, guys. That's all you
exactly, right?
need. I'll finish then with this question. I think I kind of know the answer to this though. Is this
Sure.
this Sea of Thieves? Is this the last time we see Guybrush? Do you think?
I have absolutely no idea.
I knew
I
you
don't
were
know.
going to
I mean,
say that.
no, I wish I knew. I wish I knew because then I could either happily wait,
Yeah.
in rapt anticipation, or I could get on with my life. So, but I don't know. So I kind of, I end up in this the eternal limbo. It does always seem like Monkey Island projects always seem to come in twos, don't they?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's like
That's true.
twos, and then there's a 10-year break. So if past his prologue, I'll see you guys when I'm in my mid 50s
Oh
at that
wow.
point.
Okay.
But yeah, because it was the first two games, then like a long break,
Yeah.
and then Curse and Escape, and then a long break,
It's
and then the
true.
special editions and Tales and a long break, and now
Oh
we got
boy.
Return. And see, I mean, this is an ironclad pattern at
It
this
is.
point.
Oh
So we
man.
might be 2032. I don't know.
Oh gosh.
I
Okay.
mean, I hope it's not that long.
No.
We'll
Same.
see. We'll see. Craig Derrick is one of the fellas at LucasArts now. He's a real string puller, and he's always trying to, and he's a huge, tremendous fan of Monkey Island as well. So he's always trying to, he's kind of working behind the scenes. So we'll see. You never know what he has up his sleeve. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I've got a feeling, Dominic, I'll be speaking to you
Oh,
again at some point, no doubt,
oh
about
gosh, let's
something
hope
or
so.
other.
Let's hope so. Let's
But
hope so. I hope I'm not done. It's too
no.
much fun.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. In one way or another, I'm sure you're not. But thank you so much again for catching
Oh
up.
no, of course, anytime.
It's been great to have you on, and yeah, and until next time.
Indeed, whenever that is,
Whenever that is. All right.
on
Thanks, Dominic.
whatever streaming service exists then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Let's not think about that. Let's not.
No. We're not gonna think about that.
All right. Brilliant. Thank
All right.
you.
Well, thank you.
Bye.